Welcome to The Know. I'm Brian.
I'm Ben.
After all these years, it's finally happening. It's here. Sony confirmed, yes, they will soon start testing a feature that will allow you to change your PSN online ID. This should be a national holiday, as far as I'm concerned. And they'll soon test a beta version as part of the PlayStation preview program.
PlayStation players rejoice. This has been a long-requested feature by gamers who might have regretted their choice of names 10 years ago, Brian, but didn't want to abandon all their trophies just to pick a different ID.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people. I was really into Sephiroth.
God.
I was one of those guys.
420XX Sephiroth 24/7.
He liked weed.
We've got some details about how Sony is going to implement this, and there are some limitations that we definitely need to talk about.
Yeah, apparently this is a really, really difficult process, or at least that's how Sony's making it sound. They're making it sound like they're trying to cure fucking cancer.
It's not as simple as just flipping a switch like everybody seems to think it is.
No, there's no switch.
Right.
No.
They've had a variety of excuses in the past for why they've never implemented this, like they didn't want players griefing people in one game and then changing their PSN ID in a hurry, and then do the same thing on a different game.
But apparently after all these years, they put all the excuses aside and implemented a fix.
Right, so here's how this works. To be a part of the early test version, you have to be pre-registered as a tester for previous PS4 system software betas, and then Sony will pick select users out of that group.
And if you're one of those lucky chosen people with the golden ticket, you will get the privilege of being one of the first to change your PSN ID. The first change will be free. After that, it's $10. If you're a PlayStation Plus member, it's $5 after the first change.
Which is probably a move to prevent griefers, like they mentioned before, and it's similar to what Microsoft does with gamertag names.
They charge you after a while,
Little
right?
bit.
Yeah. You'll be able to change your PSN ID through the settings menu or in the profile page of your PS4. You'll also be able to display your old ID along with a new one so your friends will still know who the hell you are.
But be careful, you'll only get to make that choice once, and you won't be able to change it once you do.
So you can be like, hey guys, not Sephiroth 420 anymore, Sephiroth 421. I've matured.
Nailed it.
Yeah. All right, so that is all the good news. Now for some bad news.
The feature is not going to be compatible with every game. We don't quite know what that means. It sounds like there are a lot it won't work with, actually.
So Sony put it this way. This feature is compatible with PS4 games originally published after April 1st, 2018, and a large majority of the most played PS4 games that were released before this date.
A large majority of the most played PS4 games that were released before that date? That seems to leave out just about every PS4 game. That's most of them.
That's a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah.
Also, that date, April 1st, is this a fucking April Fool's
Oh my
joke
God.
they're playing? I will... Sony goes on to say, please note, not all games and applications for PS4, PS3, and PS Vita systems are guaranteed to support the online ID change, and users may occasionally encounter issues or errors in certain games.
Issues or errors? Well, we don't know what that might be as far as like what that experience is. Sony didn't really elaborate. So like lose your save file, get something corrupted, maybe it's not really clear.
Sony does say if for any reason you experience issues after changing your ID, you can revert back to your original ID for free at any time. Reverting back to an old ID will resolve most issues caused by the ID change.
They go on to say that when the feature launches, there will be a list of compatible games published on PlayStation.com.
So that's a little disconcerting depending on how bad the errors might be. If it's minor, not a big deal. Definitely seems to point to this being a more challenging problem than just flipping a switch and enabling the feature. And that's kind of what they've alluded to in the past. Like, we didn't really code this right to begin with, so it's kind of tough to implement.
I'm definitely guessing probably an infrastructure issue or something in the code.
Yeah.
As far as the timeline, the feature is coming to the preview program soon, and it'll last until the end of November. Everyone else will get to change their PSN IDs sometime next year, according to Sony.
At any rate, still good news for people who want to change their name. It's been something that Microsoft has allowed for, more than a decade now, which is something gamers have always pointed to in the face of Sony's reluctance to change.
But apparently, for whatever reason, Sony decided that, hey, now's the time for change.
Better late than never. What do you guys think about Sony finally allowing PSN ID changes? Are you going to change yours? I know I am. Let us know in the comments.
And for all your Sony and PlayStation 4 news, be sure to like this video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to The Know.
Welcome to... Wait. Get on my bin box.
We already have our post-clip blooper.
Get on my bin box. It's totally a clip.
To be a part of the early test version, you have to be pre-registered as a... I just added a word in there.
Brian.
All right. Should we start over or should we...
Yeah.
That's fine. We can